Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 8 of the AFK Hour Podcast. I'm your host, jlucio, and today we have LeoErebus,
Hello, everybody.
NABJR,
What's up, y'all?
and StevieRay.
Hello again.
So last week we talked about our favorite movies, and we gave you guys like a little catalog of shows to watch from actions, comedies, our favorite of all time, etc. So hopefully you had a week to watch it. Hopefully you guys did your homework, and now you're up to date. And we find another week of staying at home. So we're going to continue the theme and recommend TV shows. So our aim for this one, we're trying to pick shows that were popular at one point or are still popular currently, but you haven't watched. So for most of these picks are hopefully you haven't seen them and they're new to you. So you could try to see something new and different. So the first category is going to be action.
Yeah, so for action, I ended up choosing Punisher and Daredevil. So Punisher is pretty much about a guy that is taking revenge for his family. Both of these are also Marvel series on Netflix. They're both really good. They're very, very action-packed. At least the Punisher is actually more probably than Daredevil. But this guy just pretty much takes revenge against all these people, and he's like ex-Marines, I think. And it's pretty good. Daredevil is he's a blind lawyer, and by night he's a vigilante. Most people know who Daredevil is. If you don't, then that's what he is essentially. So he just kicks ass even though he's blind. But I think the Netflix series that they made is actually pretty good. I think there's like 2 or 3 seasons. I personally really like the first one, but those are pretty good.
So for my picks, I went with The Boys. This is a show that came out on Amazon Prime Videos. So not many of you guys know that Prime also offers a video service, and they do exclusives there. And this was new to me. I barely heard of this, and I was just like, okay, let me see what's on the catalog. And The Boys showed up right in the front because they're trying to promote it and stuff like that. Especially if you use Twitch, they promote the shit out of that show a lot. And I was like, okay, well, I saw this on Twitch, maybe it'll be good. So I tuned in, I watched the first episode on Amazon Prime Video, and it was really good. I was like, wow, this is what Amazon's producing behind, like, in secret? This is really fucking good. Like, this is really great. And like, I tried talk about it with my friends, and they never heard of it. And I'm just like, come on, bro, you have to watch it. It's a really good show. You have to watch it. It's awesome. And plus, they did the same thing. They watched the first episode, and they're just like, whoa, this show's actually really good. Like, they have a bunch of gore and superheroes and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, it's a good show. My second show is gonna be Archer. This is an animated show. It's also considered a comedy, but has a lot of action. And I don't know, everything about it is really funny. Like, I like the art style. The plot's really funny. The characters are really well made. The voice actors do a really good job, and it's like a passion project for them because the show's about it's a spy who's just like a fuck up, I guess, and he always makes mistakes and he's burnt out, and that's essentially the whole show. So there's the comedy aspect is that he's burnt out, and the drama is that he's trying to keep his team afloat with different missions and whatnot. So those are my 2 picks.
Yeah, so for me, I typically don't watch too much action TV shows, but I really enjoyed Daredevil on Netflix. I'm really hoping that Disney Plus brings it back. I know I've heard rumors that they might bring it back, but just like the action in there and the way they did some of their scenes, like there's a hallway scene where it's all one simultaneous shot. That's like really cool. If you watch anything, like just watch that on YouTube or something. But yeah, I really love the story and the character and world building that they do in that. So really good.
For me, I personally went with Supernatural. This show has been running for a really long time. It already has 15 seasons, and the new season just did come out probably like a month ago or so. If you don't know what Supernatural is, it's pretty much 2 brothers. They're hunting monsters, pretty much like werewolves, vampires, mythical creatures, etc., like that. And as the story progressed, there's a lot more demons, angels, and stuff. A lot more stuff start popping up, and it's a really good show in my opinion. I mean, there's a lot of action for sure. So in every episode, there's always going on like on a hunt. So in every episode, there's gonna be action, regardless if you want it or not. But I would totally recommend that show. It's one of my favorites. I still haven't finished it all or caught up at least to season 15, but I mean, it's good so far. It's one of my favorites.
I was about to ask how many seasons were there, but then you said 15. I was like, oh my god, that's a lot of seasons, bro.
Yeah,
So-
I'm barely on season I think going to 12. If sometimes, since it is like a hunt after a hunt, sometimes it does feel repetitive in a way. But there's still action going on and there's different stories going on. But it feels like I'm not gonna end it anytime soon, dude. It's crazy.
How many episodes per season?
About like, I want to say like 20.
Damn, that.
So I guess
that's a
maybe
lot.
that's why it feels also like I'm not finishing it, because it is a lot.
Yeah, I know Supernatural is really good, and I watched it too. I haven't watched it all. I probably stopped at season 10. I actually wrote an article in high school for it, for a paper. But Supernatural is really good. You know, Daredevil is really good, as Steven said, and I said. And I think The Boys is also really good, in my opinion. I watched it before George watched it, and it was really good.
So how do you know
I mean,
you watched it before me?
Because I know.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we all started watching it together recently, all of us.
Because
Together
of
at
who?
once.
Who
Because
recommended
of
it?
Nick? Nah, I'm
Oh,
kidding.
okay.
I'm kidding. You did, and dude, it's going pretty good. I actually really enjoy the show. You know, there's a lot of gore, which I really like, and it's not all. You mentioned superheroes, and I guess you could say it is about them since they are involved in the story a lot. But I like that they're not like, oh, superheroes are, you know, the best. They're amazing, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't talk about I could talk about the premise a little bit for the viewers that haven't seen it. It's basically it's like a what if superheroes were around in today's era. So like, you know how most people are very self-absorbed assholes, like they don't care about anything else but themselves. These superheroes also grew up in that position. From all these shows, I've liked The Punisher. I think John Bernthal, like the actor who does The Punisher, he does a great job as The Punisher. I remember watching Punisher the movies growing up, but I don't remember the actor's name. And I guess he was okay, but I think John Bernthal, like he does a great job as the Punisher. Daredevil, I don't know, like that was another movie I saw when I was younger, and I'm like, oh, okay, another superhero movie, blah blah. And then they made it into a TV show, and I'm just like, well, if it's anything like the movie, I'm not gonna like this. So I never gave it a chance. Supernatural is a show that I do want to get into. Like I want to start watching, but there's so many seasons.
On Daredevil, I'm gonna have to disagree on you. When I haven't seen the show, but when I first saw the movie, we saw it when it had come out, which was what, like 2006, or super long time ago. I thought it was the best fucking movie in the world, dude. I was like, this movie fucks, bro. This is a good movie, man. I fucking loved it, dude. How they showed him that, like, you could see, like, how the blind people would see, quote unquote. And I was really fucking. Because how you think, like, okay, so in the movie they show he goes blind, right? And when I think of a blind person, all I see is that they see black, just pitch black, dark. But in the movie, he's tapping his walking stick and he's making waves with sound. I guess like what is it called? When bats, you know how
Sonar.
Yeah, like sonar. So they see the shapes, and I was like, yo, this is fucking badass, dude. And I just thought that was fucking sick, man. I don't know about you.
Well, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but that's not how blind people see it, Marcos. But
No, I know that now. But when I was a kid, I was like, dude, all I see is like straight black, bro. They don't see anything.
As far as things that maybe we haven't watched, Marcos, like Marcos said, some of us are watching The Boys off of the recommendation of George and Nick. But I would like to actually start also watching The Watchmen, the HBO series. It's only one season, but apparently it's some of the best like TV series ever. It's very highly rated on IMDb. So I'll probably check that out myself. So pick for you, also pick for me. I'll probably be checking that out soon.
I'll watch it with us.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
Like, I'm also actually really surprised that HBO is able to make all these shows, like really well developed shows like Chernobyl and Watchmen, and well, there's other shows, but I'm not gonna talk about them right now. Another show that also was by HBO is Game of Thrones, but I mean that one has mixed reviews because of the last season. So like, I don't know, HBO does a good job sometimes, but just the fact that you have to pay for it, I don't know, that turns off a lot of people. But nowadays, all these different sites you have to pay for them to use, like Netflix, Amazon, Disney Plus, etc., Hulu. Yeah, there's so many different subscriptions now. So
well, now
I think
there's HBO Max.
Yeah, exactly. So HBO, I don't know, they were doing this before it was a thing.
You know who did it before everybody?
Who?
Best, and it was Blockbuster, whatever.
Blockbuster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to say Best Buy, but I was like, no, it's not Best Buy. Don't say it. I know you know it's not Best Buy.
Great.
The OG, may he rest in peace. I think we still have one open in Alaska, I think.
Yeah, there's only one Best Buy or Best. Now you got me saying it.
Got him.
There's only one Blockbuster left in existence. Okay, so yeah, it's just a treat seeing one now. Alright, so the next category is gonna be comedy.
Yeah, so for my picks, I ended up going with The Big Bang Theory. It's pretty old, I think. It has a lot of seasons though. It's pretty much just geeks in their life and pretty much a lot of geeky comedy. And the other one I was gonna go with is pretty much falls in the same realm. Silicon Valley on HBO. It's also about geeks, or essentially it's about startup life. So getting started in startups, and it's pretty funny. But a lot of these are more like geek or tech, funny type of comedy. So it's not everybody's comedy.
So my comedy recommendation is probably my favorite show of all time. It's called Futurama. I love this show so much. It's like, I don't know, there's like 6-7 seasons. There's a couple movies out. And everything about Futurama, I don't know, I just like everything about it. Like, the guys know, or my group of friends know that that's one show that I've seen from start to finish a couple times because that's so amazing. And apparently, back in high school, I always talked about it, which I don't remember, but they say I always referenced Futurama somehow because, I don't know, it's a great show to me. Like, this is like a fun fact. I like to say this to people that don't know about Futurama, but it's considered the smartest show, quote unquote, smartest show, because they had like at least 4 different people with doctorate degrees writing the show, and the rest had masters and different types of degrees in computer science, in language studies and stuff like that. So that's why they call it the smartest show, quote unquote. I don't know. I don't like that title, but it's so interesting. But I don't know. I've always been a fan of Matt Groening. That's how do you pronounce his last name? Groening or
Grain?
Grain? I don't know. The Simpsons creator. He made that. He made The Simpsons, and plus he made Futurama afterwards. And then recently he made Enchantment or Enchant. I don't know, the newest Netflix show.
Disenchantment.
Disenchantment. Yeah. Well, he made a show on Netflix, and it's a really good show as well. But this is probably my favorite show, which is Futurama. And my second recommendation is The Good Place. This show recently finished. It's only 3 seasons long. Or is it 4? No, it's 4 seasons long. And the last season was in January 2020. And it's a good show. Like, I first saw it on Netflix. I didn't think much of it. My roommate at the time was just watching it, and I was just on my computer, and I was just like glancing at it. I'm just like, oh, this show's really lame. but I actually paid attention to one episode. I'm like, what the heck? Like, okay, I'm gonna start paying attention. So I paid attention to the next episode, and I'm like, wow, this is actually really funny. And I didn't expect it to be funny. I thought it was one of those shows because it's one of those shows that you hear about it on commercials, but you don't see it. And I tried my best to, like, after watching the first episode, I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it a chance. So I watched the first season. I'm like, damn, like the first season was pretty good. So I continue watching it. So hopefully I'll recommend this to people who are like trying to look for like a comedy which like has like a bunch of twists. So this is my pick for comedy.
Yeah, so my picks for comedy, I picked a couple relatively newer comedy series, but two that I've fallen in love with and think are pretty good. The first one is The Last OG. That one's on TBS, and you can catch the first couple seasons on Netflix. It's really good. They actually just wrapped, I think, the third season on TBS. So if you have cable, you can probably still check that out. But the first two seasons are on Netflix. But it's a really funny show starring Tracy Morgan. Also has Tiffany Haddish. But yeah, it's just Tracy Morgan grew up bad, like a bad side of town in Brooklyn, and he got into some trouble, got pinched, and then he comes out and is enjoying life multiple years after he went into prison. So it's a really funny show, and I like the comedy there. The second piece, or the second show I'd like to pick was Dave. Dave is very, very, very new. The first season just wrapped on FX. So if you have cable, you can check that out. But very, very funny show. It stars Dave, aka Lil Dicky, the rapper. He's hilarious. If you listen to any of his music, you know he's a very talented rapper, a cunning linguist, if you will. But he's very good, and he's got some great raps in there. But just the story and the characters that are in it, it's really, really funny. I think the episodes are only like 30 minutes long on both of these shows, so they're really quick to binge. But yeah, I recommend both. Very bingeable, but then I also wouldn't recommend binging them too hard, because then you're going to be wanting more, and they're not ready to have more yet. So
like, they just ended. Do not watch them all and expect a second season right away, dude. Just wait, man.
My show.
Me personally, I mean, for my friends, they know that I fucking love The Office. I fucking love that show. I've seen it about 8 times now, from start to finish. That's probably my go-to if I'm not watching anything and I'm just like, dude, what I watch, I'll probably put on The Office, even a random episode. If I'm feeling sad, I'll probably put like a Christmas episode on there, or like, just, it all depends what I'm feeling, right? But The Office is my go-to show for comedy. I know some people don't find it hilarious as much as I do, but there's something about, I guess you would say, like dry humor, quote unquote, or like awkward humor. I don't know what type of humor you would call it, but I fucking love it. Like, it's my jam, dude. I would recommend that show to anyone, and I'm pretty sure everybody has heard of it as well.
What do you think about Parks and Rec over The Office?
I have to disagree. I mean, I do think it's a good show. I haven't finished watching Parks and Recs yet, but I guess since they're all different actors, right? But they have the same producer. So, if I'm not mistaken.
It's like the same type of show, basically.
Yeah. So they have the same comedy that they're throwing at you, but it's just different actors with different personalities. So after you finish watching The Office and you really did enjoy it and you still want more stuff like that, then Parks and Recs is really good to follow up. I could say that as well with The Office. I mean, I watched The Office season 1 several times. It's not the best, but the first season is kind of bumpy, and then after that it gets better, right? But it's the same thing with Parks and Recs. That first season, dude, I was just like, dude, this is so sleeper, bro. Like, get this shit out of here. But then, like, you pass that and it starts getting better, and I was just like, fuck, dude, I kind of have to go back because I didn't pay attention at all at season 1, dude.
Yeah, that what is it? Like the Michael with the hair and the shirt. It's just that's just not the Michael I know.
Yeah.
It's just so weird. But
I mean,
it's definitely a good show.
Yeah.
So season 1, your favorite season of The Office?
No, it's not.
Which one's your favorite
Eh,
season?
My favorite season? Shit, from the top of my head, I honestly don't know.
What about favorite
But
episode or favorite moment?
My favorite moment. Here, it's gonna take me a bit. Hold on, I gotta think.
Buffering.
Yeah. My favorite, I guess, like typical. Well, it's because like they're all different. Fuck. My favorite. One of my favorite scenes is when when Michael invites Jim over to his house to have dinner, and he got his new condo, whatever, right? And they had installed a flat screen, right? And you know, back then flat screens weren't like nowadays flat screens, and if they were like really expensive. So he has like a super small ass, like 27-inch, and he like hanged it up on the wall, and he's like, bro, I could just put it out, and it's just like a bloop. Like it's like super little small, like pushing it back, and then it's like pushing it back in, and it's like probably like a foot away from the TV. It was just so funny, man. And it's so small, like a small ass TV, dude. That's probably one of like my favorite right now. I guess I could think of on the top of my head.
The moment that I always look back and laugh at is like when Michael invites the CPR doctor. And
Okay,
they do the staying alive. and then what probably the funniest part is when they pan out and Kelly's just dancing for no reason.
And the girl's kind of like, what the fuck, dude? That's
then,
not it.
And then Dwight just goes all Hannibal on it.
Now we have a podcast. Okay, give me your knife. Oh, no, he has a knife already. He starts stabbing.
Don't worry, I got one.
Well, that was so fucking nice.
How long has he been dead? Someone get a nice chest. We could still harvest the organs.
The organs.
Alright, Dwight. No, Dwight.
Great show.
Personally, I've never seen it. So I think out of all of them, besides mine, I've only seen Futurama.
Hell yeah, it's a good show.
Futurama.
Yeah, I mean Futurama is whenever also Family Guy was around, or I mean I think it still comes out, but that's when I watched it mainly. Futurama and Family Guy were the stuff. That was the shit.
Adult Swim.
Yes, sir. Adult Swim.
Man, y'all remember when friggin' they brought back Family Guy from the dead? They killed Family Guy, and friggin' Adult Swim showed so many funny reruns that they brought it back.
Yeah.
Did they really?
Yes, they did.
Holy shit.
It died because it was on Fox and then it died. But I loved it. Like that was my type of humor. I used to watch South Park all the time, so I loved that type of humor. That just raunchy at the time, raunchy humor. Now everything's freaking raunchy, but but yeah, like it was just different, and maybe it was just a little bit ahead. But then Adult Swim, that's the exact audience of Adult Swim.
Yeah.
And so they started playing reruns of like the first 2 seasons, and then I think they did like one brand new episode. It was like it wasn't a new episode, but it was a like forbidden episode that they did on it was When You Wish Upon a Weinstein. It was like it was like a banned Christmas episode from Fox that Adult Swim premiered on it, and it did so well that they were like, oh well, we're gonna do more episodes. So
Now bringing it back, baby.
That's kind of a common thing like nowadays. Like, oh, like you want this thing? It's like, well, we're gonna support it on social media on that. This was before that, so it's like they literally revived it just by watching. Like so many people watched it
from the ratings, from the actual ratings.
Yeah, versus like social media campaigns, bring back Family Guy, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I can't believe that show's still around, man. It's been like they're
really
like on season 15 plus, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Seth, so they love Seth MacFarlane at Fox. Like
Yeah, they do.
they just keep giving them money for stuff. It's not good, but they're giving them the money.
Well, have you seen his show Orwell or whatever the hell it's called?
Oh yeah, the Orville. Apparently that's
Orville,
pretty
yeah.
good. I haven't seen
Yeah.
that.
I haven't seen that.
And it's
Yeah.
actually not a Fox show. It's on CBS, isn't it? Or is it on Fox?
I'm not entirely sure. I think it is on Fox though.
Yeah, I want to say it's on CBS only because it's like Star Trek parody, but I'm probably completely wrong. Hold on, the Orville. We're gonna look this up right away. Where can I watch it? It is on. Yeah, it is on Fox. Okay, so it is Seth MacFarlane in Fox.
I think the only reason Fox gave him that show is because they're like, oh, our cash grab or our cash cow is Future or not Future, Family Guy. And Seth MacFarlane didn't want to do Family Guy anymore. So they're like, you know what, Seth, if you continue doing Family Guy, we'll give you your own show, like a brand new show.
Yeah, but apparently it's like really well revered, like especially with people who just love those space like TV shows like that. It's like
Yeah.
a parody of that, I guess. But
Futurama also got canceled, and it was on Adult Swim, and then they got canceled, and then they went to Comedy Central, and they did a couple seasons there, and then it got canceled there, and then it went to FX, and then it got canceled there. So like it kept on getting canceled because the fan base is so niche, like it's small, but they even with the small community, like they still like try to do their best with like what they have, like their story and whatnot. So like I really like Futurama. It's like a passion project for the writers because they love everything about it. Like they themselves love the show. They're fans of the show. So like every episode is like a gem. At least to me it was. Like every episode's pretty good.
yeah, Futurama is a great show. Like I enjoyed just putting it on Netflix. It's one of those like set it and forget it. Like you can just watch any show or any episode, which is another reason why why I believe Netflix needs a damn shuffle button. It's like like Netflix just needs to just let you shuffle episodes and just like
whatever
it's like,
happens.
yeah, because like in situations where like I'm Marcos and I want to watch a random episode of The Office or a random episode of Futurama, like it'd be awesome just to hit shuffle and just
Yeah,
'Cause
because that's
for those
what that is what was good for like watching on TV. Like you would just put it and you would get whatever show and that was it, you know?
Yeah.
So I totally fucking agree on that, dude. Like shit. Sometimes it sucks because you're like, I want to watch it, but I don't want to just get a specific or whatever. It's just I just want to watch that show. I don't care from where, you know, or where
Yeah,
at.
that's why I like having TV because I just
Oh.
put like USA channel and then like, you know, I just keep it there in the background and
Yeah.
pretty much watch Law and Order back to back. But you know, it's there. You don't have to worry about it.
Didn't realize we had a boomer. Nah, I'm kidding.
Whoa. I just don't like to actually have to pay attention to what I click on all the time. But
Nah,
right now
I
I
get
didn't
you,
have
bro.
the money to be buying cables. Now I actually have to do that.
I'm just messing with you, bro.
From all the shows from everyone else's picks, I've seen Big Bang Theory. It's okay. I like it. On some episodes. Silicon Valley, that's a show I've always wanted to watch, but I've never gave myself time to watch it. And I guess I should give it a chance because I really want to watch it. And like I know it has some really good actors in it, and it has Middleditch, doesn't he? Isn't he in it? Thomas Middleditch?
Yeah. Is that how you pronounce his name?
I think. I don't know.
Yeah,
We're probably,
it does have him. I don't know if that's how you say his name, but it is.
yeah, he has the curly hair. He's like a goofy little guy. Yeah.
That is it.
He's a main
I like him.
character.
He's a really funny comedian or whatever, or actor or whatever. I like him a lot.
Yeah, he's like the low budget. What's his name? The one from Zombieland.
Oh,
freak! The dude that came out on Scott Pilgrim, right? The dude that came out on Scott Pilgrim.
No, that's the other one. There's the low budget him.
Jesse
Eisenberg.
Yeah.
It goes. The tier list goes. Michael Cera, Jesse Eisenberg, Thomas Middleditch.
I think it's Michael Cera. he actually won an award. He won Oscars, no? For Social Network.
Yeah, but he was just in it though. You could have plugged in Michael. You could have plugged in Michael Cera or Thomas Middleton. It would have been the same movie.
Oh my god.
I actually really love The Social Network though. It's one of my favorite movies. Did not make the cut last week.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Silicon Valley, I'm gonna put that on my list to watch. The Last OG, I've never heard of it. I've never seen it. I've never seen it even been promoted. So I don't know what the hell that's about.
Yeah, it's Tracy Morgan, and so it's really
Tracy Morgan.
yeah, it's funny. It's just like it's not like slapstick funny. It's actually really well thought out, and some of the episodes they dive into some issues that going on in today's world, you could say. But yeah, it's really funny.
I like Dave. I really like the comedian Santino.
Lil Dicky? Oh, no, never mind.
The redhead. His name is Andrew Santino. I like him a lot. He's really funny. But I mean, the main reason I watched Dave in the first place was because of Lil Dicky. I'm a really big fan of him. I love his music. I love his work, all his stuff. This is another little fun fact. Kevin Hart actually produced this as well. He saw Lil Dicky's like rap and stuff like that, and he was like, "Hey, I want to hear your story," and then gave him a show. So like that, I don't know. That's really cool of what's it called? Kevin Hart doing that. And
I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah, and then The Office. I saw all of The Office, and the only reason I saw that was because Marcos here every day is like,
"Hey, baby.
Hey, bro, have you seen The Office?" And I'm like, "No, bro." And he's like, "Dude, you need to watch it, man. You need to watch it." I'm like, "Oh, fine, Marcos, I'll watch it." And he's like, "Oh, because you know why? Because you remind me of Ryan." I'm like, "What? Okay, just because of that, I'm gonna watch it. I don't know who the hell Ryan is. I don't know who Ryan is, but I'm gonna watch it." And I watched it. I'm like, "Hell, not Ryan, freaking Marcos."
No, I think okay. I actually think you might be Ryan.
Right? Right?
Okay.
Thank you.
Because you can be kind of a dick sometimes.
No, he could be like dude, I don't do that,
dude.
Only noobs do that or something, and it's like, I don't know, dude, you just give me Ryan vibes, dog.
Hey, Ryan, he was one of those people that's fake, and I'm not fake. Okay, I whatever I say, I always keep my word.
Let's see, Nick who would Nick be? Nick would probably be Michael.
Yeah, I was like, Nick is Michael Hard, bro.
I was like, Marcos, he's either gonna be Andy or Kevin.
Oh boy. A little bit of both.
And then I'd probably be Jim.
Okay.
Of course.
You're Asian Jim, though.
Oh, I mean,
there. Yeah, you're in one episode and that's it.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Marcos gives me Andy vibes. That's who he is.
Yeah, I was like Kevin or Andy, but I'd say Andy because Marcos can get awkward.
I thought Kevin because big words. Why small words, big words do trick. For those who don't know, I usually always end up stumbling my words, or I like just not stop using one word, but like I skip words because I don't know. I don't know if I'm thinking too fast while trying to talk. I don't know. I just usually end up stumbling upon words and the way I pronounce things.
I can't say anything because I haven't seen the show.
Oh, okay.
The reason why I gave you Andy vibes was because, like, at first you seem really cool, really nice.
Okay.
You're like really awesome, and then once you get a little single ounce of power, get back to work. Like it's nothing else.
Oh my
So,
god.
that's why I think you're Andy in my books.
Oh no.
Okay, well, I don't know if anyone wants to add to comedy. Does anyone want to add to comedy? Okay.
I mean, I would add another show I didn't really put there, but I would say Psych. It's about pineapples. JK. It's about detectives that, as it sounds, they're psychic, but there's a pineapple in every episode. It's really good, and I think There's a movie and a second one just literally came out very recently, like maybe this week or something like that. Pretty good show. It's really funny and the comedy is a bit different, but yeah, it's probably up there with Monk.
Wait, I thought that Psych was about these detectives that were very good at deduction, but they pretend to be psychic because they weren't
Exactly.
getting work.
Yeah.
But it's not about
Exactly.
psychic.
Quote unquote psychic.
Yeah, yeah, because they're detectives that weren't able to get work, and then they're like, oh well, what if I add psychic at the end, and they got work like nothing, because like everyone believes in supernatural, all that stuff.
Because one guy's really good at acting.
Yeah.
The other guy's just a helper.
But which one of them says psych?
Nah, instead of them saying psych, they just put a pineapple everywhere, you know?
Okay.
Another good show that I think would, I guess, could also go on here is Scrubs.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if y'all remember
Scrubs.
Scrubs. It was a comedian, well, not also, but a medical show about like doctors and stuff, and they're pretty much and they're, what is it called? It's not intern. What is it called? When you're before you get to become a doctor?
I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember.
Yeah, I can't think of it. Whatever, they're medical students.
Whatever, yeah, medicals. Yeah, they're students still, so they're trying to become doctors and they're going through the whole process, whatever. But it's like, it's mostly of them just messing around and shit. And I thought it's a really good show. I think it's really funny.
Yeah, that's on Hulu right now. It looks like, because I've been wanting to watch. That's a show that I never got to catch when it was live, but I've wanted to go back and watch it. But it's never been like on a major streaming platform like Netflix. But it is on Hulu, so if I feel like going through commercials, I'll watch it.
You should. I totally recommend. There will be a dance in there that you'll look familiar. Let's just leave it at that. Yeah, baby, you know.
It's the Fortnite dance.
Fortnite dance.
Oh
They took it from Turk. They took it from Turk. They did my boy Turk dirty, bro.
I forgot about that. Yeah, I mean, I've seen a couple episodes of Scrubs, but I don't know. I was never a fan of it just because of what I heard about the actors. Like the main actor is apparently like an asshole, and he was one of those people that was just like, "Oh yeah, I'm not gonna work unless I get this amount of money."
Oh,
and
shit.
like with these kind of roles and stuff like that, so I was just like, if he's gonna be like that, I'm not gonna support the show by watching it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I'm like, what's Dak Prescott doing there? I was kidding.
Yeah, exactly. Dak Prescott. We're talking about football now, man. But yeah, I mean, if we're gonna add shows, another show I would recommend is Community. That's a show that came out around the same time about The Office and like Parks and Recs. It was created by Dan Harmon, and I don't know if you know who Dan Harmon is, but he's a really like great person or great director. He made Rick and Morty. That's his newest project that he's working on. So like Community is like one of his earlier projects. That's what made him mainstream. So I would recommend watching it. That was another show that when I was younger I was like, oh, this is not that funny. But then I rewatching as an adult, I'm just like, damn, Dan Harmon knows what he's doing. Like he knows how to make characters. Like he's really good at this.
Yeah, that was recently added to Netflix, so I've been trying to catch it here and there. But yeah, I did see it live, but I've been rewatching it lately. It's been pretty fun.
So yeah, I would recommend that specifically to Marcos. I think he would love it. It's a really good show.
Troy and Abed in the morning.
Yeah, it has Donald Glover. Where he was like a freaking superstar. Like no one could touch him now.
Yeah.
But this is back in the glory days when no one knew of him. The next category is going to be drama.
Yeah, so for drama, I ended up choosing a show called Halt and Catch Fire. I think it's by AMC. It's from 2014, I think is when it started coming out, and I think it finished in 2016, 2017. But it's really good. It's like a techie drama, so it's pretty much back in the days when we didn't have laptops. All the computers were huge. I think it's like around when the first Mac came out, or the first Dell. And so they essentially, this is also kind of like startup-y. Well, they're building the computer, but it ends up going all the way from computer building, so laptop building, to building Google. But it's a really good series, and there's a lot of drama. It's really good. 4 seasons. The bad thing is that after you're done with it, you're like, I want more, and there's no more, so you're sad. The other thing I would say is The Good Doctor is a very recent series. It's a medical drama, the show. This is about a young autistic surgeon that pretty much just goes into he's practicing trying to become a doctor or a surgeon, and it's a really good show. There's a lot of things happening. Especially, it's very different. I compare it a little bit to Dr. House, but this is like he's autistic, and Dr. House is like an ass. But we're also, I think there's going to be a new season coming out for The Good Doctor, and a lot of people are really hyped. I think there's currently 3 seasons. Really good. Really recommend.
My first recommendation is gonna be Ozark. This is one of those shows. It's on Netflix. It's only on Netflix. Netflix exclusive, and it's one of those shows that what Stevie and Marcos did. Like, I just put a show in the background, and I was like, okay, whatever. And I put it in the background, and I was hearing like a bunch of like violence and gunfights, and I'm like, what the hell's going on TV? So I look over, and I was like, whoa, what the heck? Okay, I need to rewatch this. So I started over, and I'm like, wow, this is a really good show. Like, damn, this like. I was really amazed by the first season, and like I know for a fact that none of my friends saw this. So I was just like, oh, okay, this is another show you guys need to watch. Like, after I watched all 3 seasons, and it's basically about I'll give you the gist of it. It's just about a family, and like they're laundering money for the cartel. That's basically the whole premise of the movie, or not the movie, the show. And they're just trying to survive with the cartel breathing down their backs or breathing down their necks, and yeah, like there's twists and turns here and there, and overall it's a really good, well-made show for Netflix exclusive. My second recommendation is this show on HBO called Barry. I know for a fact that not many people have seen this show. It's with Bill Hader, or Hader, or how do you pronounce this? Hader, yeah. It's with Bill Hader. He's a really good actor. That's another actor I really enjoy all his work. And the premise of the show is just that he's an assassin who goes to California to get his next target, but he falls in love with acting, and he wants to quit the assassin business, but to do acting, but the people from the assassin world do not let him. So it's just like a comedy / it's a dark comedy / drama. It's a really good show. There's 2 seasons. I recommend it.
Yeah, so for my picks, drama is actually one of my favorite categories that we're talking about today. This show that I recommend, it's probably something that a lot of people haven't watched, and it's actually not very well liked from IMDb and other places, which I found surprised. I didn't look at the rating until after I watched it, because I really enjoyed it. It's from Ryan Murphy, the creator of American Horror Story. But it's called Hollywood, and it's a Netflix exclusive. So it's basically about these aspiring actors and filmmakers. So there's like a writer, some actors, a director, and they're all just trying to make it in Hollywood, and somehow they all come together, and they try to make a movie, and it's very controversial, and it's just a lot of ups and downs. It's also set in post-World War II Hollywood, so there's a lot of racial and anti-LGBT stuff in there, so it's there's a lot of conflicts that we face today that are going back on there, except amplified. So it's just really crazy. It deals with race and a lot of other stuff. The other show that I would like to recommend is Better Call Saul. So Better Call Saul is the prequel to Breaking Bad. If you've never seen Breaking Bad, you could probably actually watch Better Call Saul without watching Breaking Bad. I think so. You won't understand the characters, but Vince Gilligan does such a good job with the world building and the character building that you could definitely watch Better Call Saul without watching Breaking Bad. But I will say, Better Call Saul is probably the best drama show on TV today, and like it'll make you sweat at times. It'll make you just say like, what the hell, like what's going on. I compared some of the moments to Uncut Gems in the fact that it gets me like just really like suspenseful because you're very invested in the characters. There's very few characters, and so it's very like oh man, like what's gonna happen to this character, that character, even though you kind of know what's gonna happen, even though in Breaking Bad, like there's still some characters that either weren't ever in Breaking Bad or that are making comebacks in Breaking Bad, and you're just like, well, what's gonna happen with him? What's gonna happen with them? There's a lot of like even though you may feel like you know the outcome, you really don't, and it's a really fun journey to hopefully get to where Breaking Bad starts. I believe the 6th season just came out, and I think they're wrapping up the show in the 7th season, so it's really good show. I highly recommend.
For me, I have to go with BoJack Horseman. Maybe you've watched it, maybe you haven't. It's pretty much the story of a person that's a horse.
Person that's a horse. I'm sorry.
But he has a lot of like past trauma, and pretty much has done a lot of shit, and he's in Hollywood, and he used to be famous, and pretty much the life after that, right? And then it pretty much shows you the good and bad of emotions and with people, relationships with people, and it's just, I think it's a really good fucking show, man. Depression does play a big role in this show, so if you are suffering with depression, probably give this show a watch, but like at a slow speed. Do not binge watch it until you're ready, or maybe it's not as bad for you, but it's a really good show. My second show is Master of None. Master of None is a story based off Caesar Sari, or based off his life. But it's more of a comedy, but I think the story, not the story, but the characters kind of get into some drama in a way, which I would really recommend watching this one, unless you don't like Aziz Ansari's comedy, which if you don't, what's wrong with you? But my third one, I know nobody had a third one here, but I just thought about it in the last second, is actually, it's a UK show. It's called Skins, and it pretty much follows the story of a bunch of teenagers and going through life with drugs, bars, relationships, and pretty much just them growing up as people. And I think it's a really good fucking drama show. If you haven't watched it, I know a lot of people don't like UK shows because for whatever reason they're not for whatever reason, but obviously their comedy is a little different compared to the United States, and they're obviously the way they talk is different because they use different words that we don't, right? But I think it's a really good show, and if you're into that type of shows where it's like following people's lives and the troubles that people go through, I would recommend watching it.
I think they made a US version of that too that was on MTV.
Yes,
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they did, but from what I heard, it sucked.
Yeah, that's why I actually heard the same thing, that the Skins the UK version was much better.
Yeah.
I actually had a friend who was like really into the Skins, like the UK version, and when she heard that they're gonna make an American version, this is back in high school, she was really excited, and she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna watch it. I'm really excited." Blah blah blah. The day after she watched it, she was like, "Don't watch it. It's trash." If you want to watch Skins, watch the UK version. It's way better. And back then was how I was supposed to watch it because there's no Netflix. There is none of that stuff. So we had to do the pirata version, just hack the servers and stuff like that. I don't know the pirata version. So yeah.
Hackerman mode activated.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's a really good show. I mean, Ozark, George. You showed us this show, and I honestly thought it was gonna suck. Just like The Boys, I was like, dude, these shows, this is probably gonna suck, dude. Like, whatever. And y'all started watching it, and I didn't watch it because I was like, it didn't interest me. It didn't look interesting. I was like, dude, this is just a copy of Breaking Bad. Why the hell would I want to watch this, right? And then one day I was like, you know what? Let me join in these guys. And holy shit, dude! I think I joined in on episode 2 or 3, and I was like, I need to watch them all. I need to watch like more, like what happened and everything. And it's a really good show. I mean, I didn't finish it, but it's good. I want to finish it.
Yeah, because I mean, we're on Discord and we're all watching it together. So like, everyone's like, we have to keep in mind with everyone's schedule, so we don't want to get ahead of anyone. So I'm rewatching it with the guys. So that's the only reason we haven't finished it again. And we're doing the same thing with The Boys. That one's only 8 episodes, and the Ozark has 3 seasons. So The Boys will be faster to finish. From the rest of the shows, I haven't seen Halt and Catch Fire. I've never heard of it.
Because it's too good for you, bro.
And then The Good Doctor, I've seen it, but it's okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say when you said The Good Doctor, I was like, and you mentioned House. House is actually on Amazon Prime right now. So I would say give that one a watch too. That one's another one of those. They recently started putting that show into syndication on, I think it's like E Network or something like that. And so like when it's on TV, like I'll just leave it on. One show that I've been wanting to get to watch, like that I didn't get a chance to like watch all the way through, is Nip Tuck. That's another Ryan Murphy movie or show. I mean, but Nip Tuck is like, I watched like some of those episodes about like plastic surgeons, but it's just a lot of drama on that one. And there's one more I had.
13 Reasons Why.
Oh my god,
Nick! I haven't even watched that, but
we don't want to make everybody depressed.
Hey, the drama.
Apparently, if you're depressed, watch BoJack. That's what Marco's recommending.
Dude, that show, I mean, fuck yeah, dude, that show is amazing.
Don't watch it.
Watch?
Yeah,
No, watch
if you're depressed,
bro.
don't watch it.
Just watch one episode at a time, but it's fucking good.
No, the other show I was gonna recommend was Dexter. Dexter's
That's
another.
a good show. Yeah, I agree.
That's another show. It's like it's over now. The ending, well, is it over? I don't know. The ending was suspect, but that one, it's on, I believe, Prime and Netflix right now, and that's a very good, just bingeable show. Like it's I don't want to spoil much of that show, but I would say just check it out. It's if you like crime dramas, it's very, very cool.
And for those memers out there, that's where the surprise motherfucker comes from. That meme.
Yeah, another, I think, police drama I would say is Prodigal Son. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's also like them about like mysteries, except like the main character has a dad that's a psycho killer, and he's like dealing with all these problems too, like the son, and the son helps like the police capture all these other killers. It's also a really good series.
One more that I'll recommend, because like I said, this is my favorite category. Mindhunters, or Mindhunter, is a really, really good show. Have you guys seen that?
No, I've never even heard of it.
Oh, I know what we're gonna watch. There's two seasons, but basically it's about like the FBI getting into studying serial killers, and like basically using like studies of serial killers to catch serial killers, and and so it's really cool and it's also really creepy. It's based on like true events. Like these guys, they went to go they interviewed what's his name, Manson, and they interviewed like these other serial killers who were like killed multiple people, and like it's gonna make you dive into a YouTube rabbit hole and just and like be creeped out. Like I went in and I watched like some of those interviews, like the originals, and I was like, dude, this is so like they're very particular. Like they did a lot of the stuff justice, but it still will creep you out, like somewhat. But
Like the only reason I know of Manhunter was because of those YouTube videos. They promote it on YouTube a lot. Like they did the comparison of the real one and the TV version, and like the actors really studied the film, and they portrayed the serial killers and the interviewer really well. So like I was just really like amazed by the acting. So that's the reason why I want to watch it, because like the acting seemed really good, and obviously it's a drama, so like there's suspense and whatnot.
it's also what we talked about earlier. It's from the creator of Social Network. It's one of his shows.
Oh, okay.
What's his name?
Hmm.
I'm blanking.
I don't know. George? George, I suck at fucking remembering names of actors and shit. The only one I know is Seth Rogen.
It's like Mindhunter, Gone Girl, Social Network. What's this guy's name? David Fincher. David Fincher.
Oh, okay. David Fincher.
Yeah, so it's another David Fincher joint. So so if you like Gone Girl, Mindhunter, and Social Network, like that cinematography, like that style, it's got David Fincher all over it.
I'll throw another techie drama. It's called Devs on Hulu. It's pretty much about the programmers, but essentially they end up going into the realm where they can predict the future, and then you can get stuck in the game, and you can bring the conscience into the actual like simulation that they can set up. I don't know, it's pretty crazy. It's a pretty crazy like I don't know, like
sounds like an isekai.
Sci-fi?
it's like it gets into something like that. Yeah, like I don't know, it's really good. Like I watched it. I think it's only one season, but it's more like computer science-y techie type of thing, because it's a developer thing, but there's like spies that come out, like all this conspiracy stuff is happening, people get kidnapped and all this crazy shit, but they cover it up and stuff because they're able to predict the future and shit. It's crazy.
So reflecting on Stevie's picks, Hollywood, I haven't seen that show, but Better Call Saul, I think I would have to agree with him that it's the best drama out there, because I don't know, like I was a really big fan of Breaking Bad, and I saw it when it first came out, and I recently rewatched it, and like it didn't hold up as much. Like it wasn't as amazing as it was when I first watched it. But I watched Better Call Saul. Like I'm not up to date anymore. I'm behind one season, but I watched the seasons that were out twice already, and they're amazing. They did everything that was wrong with Breaking Bad. They corrected it in Better Call Saul, and they made it even better, like 10 times better. So like it's a really great show. I can't recommend this enough, because that's how amazing this show is. Every episode, like Saul Goodman is trying to hatch new schemes, new like scams for people, and he's a lawyer at this point in time. So like everything he's doing is quote unquote legal. Well, he's trying to make everything seem legal, right?
That's the thing. It's either like it's always both ends of the spectrum. It's either he's trying to do something like completely like some kind of plot, like get rich quick, or just trying to do something, or he's like doing the complete opposite, where he's trying to like get himself out of all the shit that he did in very creative ways. And so it's like it's really just like, oh man, how is Jimmy gonna cover his own ass this time? You know?
That's the reason why I love this show so much, because everything they do has a reason. And that's very uncommon for a lot of dramas. Like they just do it because like, oh, we need to get the money or whatever, just for really dumb reasons. This one actually has like weight behind it. So every time something fails or succeed, you feel like the pleasure or the disappointment of what's happening with the characters, because the writers do a really good job developing these characters. Vance Gilligan, he's a great director or a great writer. I mean, he's a writer and director. So like, I don't know, just much applause to him, because he caught lightning twice in a bottle, which is very rare, especially on AMC. Like not that many, like they have The Walking Dead, and that show's already, I think it's ran its course. I can't believe that show's still out there. Like that's amazing to me. But yeah, Better Call Saul, that show, it's there's an ending because it's a prequel. But yeah, have you guys seen Better Call Saul or Marco's?
I haven't seen any of the shows you guys recommended.
No, I haven't seen that show.
Yeah, I think it's worth a watch.
I'm surprised that Marcos hasn't seen it because he likes Breaking Bad, but he hasn't seen.
I'll tell you why. Because that show is fucking long, dude.
I will say that the first season, it drags. It drags. And it's such a hard show for me to recommend, as in like recommend to watch to somebody. It's like, oh, you gotta watch this show. But because I know it there's some slow points. And for somebody like me, I don't care, because like I was gonna watch it no matter what. But for somebody who's like debating on watching it, it's like, just go in with that. It's like, know that there's gonna be some slow points, but if you stick through it, like, it's gonna be like the payoffs in that show are very good payoffs, and it's just great.
It's just, if I'm not mistaken, it's also like 1 hour every episode, right?
Yeah, and there's dude, like 5 episodes, 5 seasons. They're all like 12 episodes.
Exactly, dude. Like, fuck, man.
Yeah, it's like binging long. Game of Thrones.
Which I haven't, because the same reason, dude. Like, they're so long, I can't.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. I want to know I want to know what happens. I want to find out what happens, but I hate sitting down for 1 whole hour to watch a show. Like, I know I do binge watch a lot of anime, but like after 1 or 2 episodes, I'm like, all right, I need to take a break. This is like, I need to chill for a bit because I can't. But with anime, you have that like loading screen in between choosing the next episode. Wow, with shows like these, it's like 1 hour sitting down, non-stop action. You either sit there and watch it or you're gonna miss something. So it's like, fuck. At least that's why I can't watch Better Call Saul right now.
Yeah, I did notice, like, when you watch with I tend to pay more attention when I watch with subtitles versus not with subtitles, because you're reading and you're watching at the same time.
Yeah, and then you could also, like, you know how sometimes they put like in the background you hear like whatever they're saying, or when it's 2 people talking, you still show both.
I hate that because I have to pause it. I'm just like, okay, what is that person saying? And what is this person saying? Okay.
You guys are noobs.
Well, yes, but you get to like see what they said. Whether if you didn't read the subtitles, you would just be like,
I know.
I don't know what the fuck they said, bro.
Anime fans are like, you guys watch your American shows in dubbed? What?
Like, what? You guys scrubs, dude.
What?
You guys gotta activate your bankai, or you're like Sharingan, or you're like, oh yeah, I know what they said. We're good.
What, George? You watched the dubbed version of Ozark? Come on, bro. It's all about the sub.
When it comes to anime, like I only watch in sub because dub, they do a really bad job.
Dude, the voice actors for American like dub anime is so fucking bad. And I'll say it every single time. There's yet an anime that I'm like, dude, that dub work was good. Nope, not a single one.
Have you ever seen Cowboy Bebop? That's the only dub one. That's the only dub that I actually like more than the sub, because Spike's voice is so badass in dub. Like, he has such a cool, chill voice, and that's how I remember him. But then when I go to the sub version, it's just some squeaky ass kid, like a squeaker, a boomer over there trying to be cool. I was like, nah, I can't deal with this. I go back to dub.
They're most likely it is a woman. Okay. Anyways, we're getting back on topic.
Yeah. Sounds like we need to take this topic to next week.
Yeah. Next time.
I just want to say one last thing. Another show is called Elite. It's drama. It's from Spain. But it's really good. But it's one of those high school ones. So essentially 3 normal people join this private academy, and then shit goes wrong and people just start dying. But it's a really good show. And it has really high ratings generally.
Yeah, I want to recommend Rosa de Guadalupe, and if you guys are Spanish speakers, there's a lot of Netflix the telenovela dramas that you can watch.
La Rosa de Guadalupe. Los que dicen los dichos or something like that.
That's not on Netflix though.
I actually wanted to talk about BoJack Horseman as well because like Marcos like did a really good job. Well, he did an okay job describing BoJack because like yes,
He's a person that's a horse.
he's a person that's a horse. It's just a horse. Okay, they're anamorphic animals, or how do you pronounce? I can't pronounce it right, but they're just.
I don't know.
It's about a horse where the main topic is about depression and about like having like to deal with anxiety and all these mental health issues, and the show does a really good job addressing all these issues that someone may have encountered or are going through currently, and like they talk about it, which a lot of shows don't talk about mental health issues. And like I said, this show does a really good job expressing and cope or trying to help people cope with it. There's like 5 seasons, 30-minute episodes. It's a comedy, but dark comedy. But also, like I said, it deals with the very real issues that a lot of people have to encounter throughout their lives.
And if I'm not mistaken, at first I watched it first, right? And I was like, you have to watch it. I think I also recommended you that one.
Yeah, like I think I'm not entirely sure. Maybe I want
to say I did.
Because he did recommend it to me. Like literally all the shows I've seen on Netflix, Marcos has recommended to me. Other than Ozark, that's the show I recommended to him. Yeah. Because I also have seen Master of None, and that's another show that Marcos told me. He's like, you better watch this show. And do you like him? And I'm like, oh yeah, he's pretty funny. He's a really funny comedian. It's like, oh, you should watch it. I'm like, okay, fine. And I went in with zero expectation, and the first episode left me like my mind was blown. It was a really good episode. It's just about relationships, like what people deal with, what people have to deal with. And like Marco said, it was a comedy. It is a comedy, but there's a lot of drama aspects to it because it deals with a bunch of BS stuff that comes with relationship. Most of it is BS and like heartbreak and closure and moving on. So there's a lot of stuff. It's a really good show. That's another show I would recommend as well.
Yeah, like when I watched that, I remember when it came out and it was like on the top for like a good while, or like for not good for a good while, but like for a week, because it looked like it wasn't getting much traction. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it, let's watch it, dude. And I was like, fuck, man, this shit's hitting home, bro. And then I was like, I know George will like this one for sure. And then I know if I'm not mistaken, you were like, this looks dumb, dude. I don't want to watch this. Yeah. And I was like, just watch it.
Because I saw the trailer and I was just like, damn, this is not that interesting. But then I saw it and I'm like, oh, okay, it's pretty good.
Yeah. I honestly didn't like the ending. We've talked about this several times. That ending was garbage in my opinion.
For which show?
For BoJack Horseman.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. I don't know if we want to talk about this, but it's a really good show. The last season does a really good job. If only the writers ended it an episode before, masterpiece. It would have been a masterpiece. But I don't know, I feel like they went to like a screening or like a test audience, and the audience were like, no, I don't like that. Make it better. And then they supposedly gave it a good ending, which I don't like a good ending, but whatever. I digress. Yeah. So yeah, this was the episode about we recommended TV shows last week, like I said previously, that we recommended movies. So hopefully now you have a lot of shows to watch, basically.
Since you should be staying home.
Yep.
Yeah, we got a COVID update from Marcos.
So as we talked on not the last podcast, but on the previous one, I did came out positive. The whole time, in my opinion, I was staying. I mean, not in my opinion. I was staying in my room. I was staying in my room the whole time, but I was asymptomatic the whole time. I didn't have a fever. Nothing really. I had no symptoms. And then last week I went to go get tested. I got the results yesterday that I finally came out negative. I wanted to do one that they called the rapid testing, which is like, it's a thicker swab and you get the results the same day. Because I guess the clinic does the testing on spot, while the other one is, well, you also have to pay, but the other one's free, where they send it off to a clinic up here in Texas, like up in Austin. And I got it done last Friday, which was the 10th. Yeah, the 10th. And then I called on Monday. They didn't have them. I went on Tuesday. They didn't have them. But I was like, yo, fuck it. Can I do the rapid? Because I've been wanting to leave my house already for at least my room for a while. I've been stuck in here. I'm tired of it, dude. So I was like, you know what? I want the results today. So I went and they're like, oh, you have to come back tomorrow. And I was like, God damn it. So I went in the next morning. In my opinion, the thicker swab honestly felt more comfortable than the super thin one, which sounds really weird, right?
So you're saying that you like the thicker ones?
Oh my God. I mean, if they're coming up my nose, nah. So anyways, the thicker one felt more comfortable than the little small one. And then I got my results and they're like, oh, well, we could have them done by today. And I was like, oh, badass, I'll go pick them up. I go and they're like, oh, well, we have the results for the one you took last Friday. And when we called you the one that we did today, you also came out negative. So here you go, man. And I was like, hell yeah. So in my opinion, I think it was a false positive the whole time, but it was better be safe than sorry. So I stayed home and everything, but that's the update.
Yeah, that's key there. Better for everyone to be safe than sorry.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're back on the living, Marcos.
Thank you. It feels good. This is my story, and I am the main hero of my story. So I'm not dying anytime soon.
So what quirk did you get after it?
Dude, I have yet to figure it out. I think it might have been time travel, but we'll find out.
You know what? Actually, I have time traveling too. Whenever I sleep, I wake up, it's a different time. Alright, well, that pretty much sums it up for this week.
I think that's it for me. Thank you all for listening.
Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this format. We try to keep it a little bit more conversational. Go watch some of these picks we got for you.
Yeah, hopefully y'all enjoyed it. This is SavePoint signing off.